Here are the two history books that turned me into a history person. These are the two books earliest in my memory that I picked up that really sustained my interest in history. So let's jump into what those are. Now, the first one is a memoir, and it's a book called Shake Hands with the Devil by Romeo Dallaire. And if you're outside of Canada, you might not know who Romeo Dallaire was. He was a UN peacekeeper during the Rwandan genocide, and he wrote a gripping, horrifying memoir of his time in Rwanda during the genocide. And there's a reason why this one stuck with me, because I read this when I was in high school, and I probably should have waited a couple of years because it's graphic, depressing, and horrifying. And he continued on with his career talking about the PTSD that he sustained from this particular trip. So this one definitely jump-started my interest in reading more about the brutality of humanity. Now, the next book that got me into history is a little bit more of a classic history book. It judges not only the past, but connects things to the present based on what this book is arguing. And that book is called The French Intifada by Andrew Hussey. Now, this book looks at the long struggle between the French people and its Arab citizens and the colonialism that all is wrapped up in the legacy of the relationship between these two peoples. I got this book when I first went to France, picked it up in Paris, and it was such an interesting and enlightening read, especially if you're looking at the French legacy in places like North Africa and Algeria, and how that continues on in French society based on its colonial legacy. And it still remains one of my favorite books I've ever read. It really gripped me the first time I read it. So those are the two books that got me into history. Let me know what books got you hooked on history. I'd love to see them in the comments, and I'll see you guys there.